Hello, good evening.
Good night.
Welcome to our show. Good night, depending on where you're at and when you're watching this.
That's actually a really good thing to say, though. Maybe we start off every show like that, because who knows where you guys are coming from. Seriously, anybody around the world, if you have access to internet and YouTube,
that's very true.
Time zones are a real thing. I forget
true.
about that.
That's
so I get
true.
like the East Coast, they're like, hey, I'm 3 hours ahead or something, and I have to like coordinate how I'm communicating with certain clients.
No, that's so true.
At certain particular times.
When I first started working with out of state or even out of country clients, like a lot of relocation clients, I would always not take into consideration the time zone, and so I'd book an appointment, and then it took me a couple times, and obviously now I know need to make sure I know what time zone they're in before I schedule an appointment, because they're not going to answer a Zoom call or a FaceTime at like midnight their time. So
the biggie's like when you have like Zoom appointments and stuff, and like you're actually on the computer face to face with somebody over Zoom.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh gosh.
I just had a FaceTime call with this guy that was 10 hours ahead in somewhere in the Middle East, and we set up the FaceTime appointment, but I guess his English when he's typing over email isn't that great. And so to me, it sounded like he wanted to FaceTime. And so I FaceTime him. It was like super early in the morning our time, super late their time. And I FaceTime him, and he was like caught off guard. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm dressed like this. I didn't realize we were going to FaceTime. And I'm really glad I did. It's good to like put a face to a name, and especially when they are from another country and they're legit.
Here's a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
You FaceTime somebody for the first time.
Yeah.
You've talked to them previously on the phone.
Yeah. Or email.
Do they ever or always look like who you like build them up to be in your brain while talking to them on the phone?
No. So whenever a client, even more than that though, like whenever I have clients that I only speak with on the phone and then I don't see them until closing or the inspection or whenever they do come into town, they are always so much different. Nothing. Like I don't know why.
Always
I imagine them a certain way in my head. Always different. Mm-hmm. Always. It's so funny.
Same. I
it's
don't
so funny.
get it. I don't get it. Why us as humans predict or project a face to a voice? It never looks alike. I mean,
never.
Guys, I'm sure guys have their own way, and girls, they have their own image.
It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so true, though.
It's funny, though. Like
it's so true. Or people with young kids, like our daughter's age. I'll be like, oh, they're probably our age, and then they're like so much older. They're like 10 years older than us or more, and I'm like, what? I guess we're just young.
Oh, that's totally happened before too. Yeah.
That always
happens.
Not
biased against older.
Ageism over here. Anyway, so we haven't really had an intro. Hello, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
My name's Spencer.
And we are a husband and wife real estate team here in Oregon. And if you're new, what am I saying? If you're not new here,
there you go.
We've been coming on here. Every week we upload videos. We just sit and talk about real estate. And what we have been doing is basically just answering your questions. We get asked a lot of questions from you guys, emails. We get a lot of emails, Instagram DMs with questions about real estate. And so we basically just sit down, pick a couple and answer them that week. And this week we were going to do that as we always do. And then I was like, you know what, Spencer, I don't really want to. Like, I don't really feel like answering questions right now. Nothing against the questions. Like, we love answering questions. I don't know. I just wanted to do something different. And so he's like, let's just talk.
Let's talk about real estate.
That's
talk
what
about
doing.
like what we're doing though from our perspective.
No clue
what Mariah's doing. We'll see where the rabbit hole goes.
We didn't plan. Yeah. So we have nothing planned today. So sorry if you clicked on this and you're a little disappointed. This could go really good.
No, this is
going to
be the best show you've ever listened to. No,
we hope
seriously.
You can grab value from this somehow. And honestly, we just enjoy sitting and chatting. This channel has opened doors to us being able to have conversations with and collaborate with really great real estate agents, many of whom have done far more in their career than we have and sell way more homes than we do. And to us, it's so humbling and it's so amazing to get to have those conversations and to learn from you guys too, because we're not over here like
I don't want to be Mr.
expert.
Know-it-all.
Like, we're not the expert. Like, we're literally just like, we're still young. We're still newer. We haven't been in the business 20 years. We just enjoy.
You're going on 8 though. Give yourself credit.
That's crazy. How
8
am I
years.
that old?
Mariah's been in here for 8 years, guys. So that's enough experience. And to be in the business for 8 years is something, but to be a top producer out of those 8 years is just unbelievable.
And the biggest thing is, like we always say, our goal, like what we do is different from other agents, like what we chat about, because like I've said before, I've watched, like I listen, I love learning, and I love learning about real estate because it's one of my passions. But the thing that gets me is like literally all of the agents like coaching, and we're not trying to be coaches. I don't think we're qualified to be coaches, but the people coaching, whatever, are like,
let's rephrase that. We don't want to be coaches as like somebody pays us a subscription.
No, like that's not our goal.
And us to sell you something.
We just love chatting about real estate. Yes. But the people that I listen to, like literally all of them sell, like the model that they sell is like you wake up at this time, like this is your work schedule. And the ones that are moms that I listen to are like, they wake up and they have like a 9 to 5. Basically they treat it like a 9 to 5. Either they have a nanny come, or they're literally work. And nothing wrong with that. But for us, our business and life looks so different. And I feel like people, you might not, if you're like new in the business, or even if you're not new, you might not know that you don't have to do it that way. You don't have, in order to be successful,
100%.
Your life can look like being like together as a family all the time and working from wherever you're at, and like being able to be with your kid all the time and time block and stuff. Like, yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but that's a big thing.
Here's something I have to say about that.
Different.
To add on to your business model or business method, it doesn't have to structure or look exactly like somebody else that might be a top producer in your company.
No.
And you might look up to them. That means their door's open and you can go ask them questions. I do that all the time. There's probably 3 agents I have on speed dial, but also I know I can walk into the office. They're dependable to be there. They're dependable that I can walk in because their door's open. If the door's open, that's the general rule of thumb, a sign, hey, you're welcome to come in here.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, and I don't want to be biased by any means, because structuring your business like that is amazing. Always being in the office at particular dates, particular times, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. That's in a weird way. It sounds weird for me saying this, an old school business method.
Yeah, it's 2022.
And so I was having a conversation with our principal broker, actually. I had a question in regards to renewing my license. It's time to renew my license. And so I was like, hey, do we have any certificates I can submit in, just basically to not have to take as many hours? And like you all, I have kind of procrastinated.
Oh my gosh. Every time I renew my license, that's me.
Waited till the last
I wait
month
until
to
I'm
do it.
about to get it taken away and then pedal to the metal.
I have 10 days to get 20 hours in.
Oh, man.
So I can do it. I know I can do it. It's just in my own time, most likely in the evenings. But I'm talking to the principal broker, our principal broker, who, by the way, is an agent that was in our office that got licensed probably alongside Mariah. So she's a younger principal broker. But, she doesn't have the experience as one, but also I think she has the personality that's going to drive our office to reach a level of success, bringing in new potential agents in today's world, not yesterday's. And so my whole point of the story is your business model might look different than the other agents in your office or other agents you see online or even ours. Nobody has the perfect model. It's what works best for you. And it's for us to give you an idea of what we do, how we make sales, and basically live a nice, comfortable life while having fun in real estate. Because that's what it is. It's fun. Mm-hmm. Business should be fun. And when business doesn't become fun, maybe transition to something else, create something different. Yeah. Because you're going to lose interest, and it's going to only hurt other people. Right. Especially if it's real estate. Right. We work for other people. Right.
Yeah, no, that's so true. It's funny because it's hard to even know, like, how, like, I get asked all the time, like, how much do you have to work as a real estate agent? Like,
those are like the number one questions we always get too.
I don't know, because like the other day I was waiting in line. I ordered a drink somewhere. I was waiting in line for my drink. As I was waiting for them to give it to me, something on my to-do list was have flowers delivered to a client that just closed, or a transaction that just closed to the client. So I, went on flowers.com or Flowers for You or whatever the website is, and I had flowers sent and delivered, and they were delivered the very next day, and I took care of it all while I was waiting for my drink order. Like, exactly. Was I working? I didn't feel like it, but I guess because that's something that was something I needed to do. And like this weekend, I don't feel like I worked at all, but I didn't guess I negotiated a repair addendum, but I don't know. Like it's so strange,
So
but
that
it's part, it's
brings
kind of an
me
extension of her life. An
to
extension of your
my
life.
first real like question to you. I'm not your interviewer or
Oh,
interviewee.
we're gonna.
I'm more like, Mariah, what are things doing for you? Because I'm gone sometimes. I'm on appointments.
Yeah.
Mariah has her own transactions. I have my own.
Yeah.
How do I manage them? How do you manage them? That's kind of what I'm wanting to get to right now for you to express to other agents viewing this channel is you're technically a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
You can go as you please. It's not like you have to stay at home.
Yeah.
You can bring Astrid with you on appointments, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But what have you been doing this week? Let's just talk about this week.
Well, this week just started.
This week.
Yesterday was Monday.
Include Saturday and Sunday.
I didn't do much yesterday. Like I said, this weekend. So I'm really big on, time blocking. So I'll know ahead of time what days I'm going to be working on certain things as far as like my prospecting, which my prospecting is really just come down to making videos and creating video content and stuff. That's my prospecting now. It looks way different than it did before. And there's a reason for that, which I haven't really talked about, which I can. But so my time for that is Tuesdays and Thursdays. I know that. So because I know I'm going to be doing that on those 2 days every week, sometimes only one of those days. And then the other day I'll do other work stuff depending on how much I get done and how much I have to do. But because I know ahead of time, those are my 2 days, I'm not sitting around thinking about it. What should I or could I be doing on Monday or Saturday or Friday or any of those other days? It kind of frees up my mind space to not think about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Even sitting down and writing content, usually I'll make it on Tuesday and write it on Thursday. And so I know if an idea for like a radio show pops into my head, then I will write it in my notes and off my phone, but I'm not necessarily going to sit down and like try to write a show. I'll do that because I know that's in my schedule for Thursday. So because of that, the time blocking there. And besides that, I mean, it's really just taking care of my clients, and that's kind of just as it comes in. But also, like, I don't know, it seems so simple. It's very simple for me, but
I love?
It didn't used to feel that way.
I love it when I scroll through Facebook.
What?
In a weird way, I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really being beneficial at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I see other brokers that are nearby, and they do this really long Facebook post of everything they accomplished in that day.
Yeah.
And what the audience doesn't know is it actually just took them like 20, 30 minutes.
Right. A lot of those things.
There.
Like,
oh my gosh.
For example, one of them is I opened escrow. Okay, you sent an email. It took you not even a full 60 seconds to send the email to open escrow.
No, wait a second. DocuSign sent you back an email. You attached that. You put in somebody's name. You said, please open new escrow, this address.
Yeah.
And you already have a relationship with that title agent. So
right.
Our job in a weird, I keep saying weird way. I need to get rid of that word.
Our
job is an amazing job to be in if you have the skills to time block and manage your own times.
Yes.
Like I just said, I have 20 hours of CE credit to complete by week's end. How am I going to do it? I have Astrid. I have you.
Yeah.
I have clients. I have 7 escrows right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have for instance, in our last video we just did, people say, how many hours a day do you work? This is a simple answer to that question. Email just got sent to me. I'm on the show. I have a computer in front of me. Open email, text that client that just had a price reduction for sell by owner and said, hey, when's a good time to meet? I just saw another price reduction. They replied during that minute.
Right.
I'm available next Monday.
So you just
booked
set
an
up
appointment on Monday.
For sell by owner appointment.
Now there's more work for that appointment to happen.
Right.
But it takes agents weeks, months. And I just showed Mariah, I've been talking to him since May.
Right.
Okay. So there's little things about this business where I'm a big guy where I get things done as it comes in rather than waiting for it because I know I'm going to forget about something.
Now
that one little detail.
That's where we're different. So for me, and it might be because I'm the one that's mainly more, you do leave more and go work at the office, but you're still home a lot with us, but I'm more at home with our daughter. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, the way I do things is my clients know I will get back to them always within 24 business hours at the very, very, very most.
Same rule applies for me.
There's really you've probably heard this phrase before. There's really no emergencies in real estate. Like even if something's an emergency, like someone's house isn't on fire. Like it's not an actual emergency. If it is, they should call 911, not us. So sometimes time is of the essence and you need to I've definitely had times where I need to drop everything, put on a show for my daughter and go write an offer ASAP. And that's fine. And I will do that. But most things, I just put it in the notes in my phone and I'm like, okay, when either nap time or when my daughter goes to bed or when you come home or whatever, like when she's entertaining herself, this is when I will go over and get to this and I will like negotiate the repair addendum or whatever. It doesn't have to be like, it can wait a couple hours. I get back to my client right away and let them know, hey, we're working on this. Hey, this is what's going on. I send them a message or give them a call, but I don't have to sit down and write it out ASAP. And if you're trying to, you're probably going to, you don't really have boundaries in your business and you're not controlling your business. So you're just being dragged around by everything that comes in. You need to have like, I don't know. So that's how I
think
do
that's
things.
a personality
And that's where
trait.
we different. I think it's personality, but also just like.
But one thing I do want to steer somebody towards.
What?
If you have 7 escrows more, my number's like 4 more. I start to feel like I'm getting pulled in many different directions with 4 more escrows. That's kind of my boundary rule. And the reason I like replying to things or doing things as they come in, because I know I'm going to forget. When you're getting pulled in so many directions, I know I'm going to forget when I have that many people in coordinators, in escrow agents, in lenders to make sure things are being filed so we have a timely closing, that I just know that I failed in the past. And if that's you and you failed at something in the past, you want to always redirect it and change it so you become better and not let that happen in the future, right? And that's just part of my personality. I do not like doing the same things wrong twice. Burn me once, man, I learned. Burn me twice, ain't happening again. No way.
That's really good. I think also it's different for us because I take on less clients intentionally than you do.
And she'll pass them on to me if some.
Yes, like my capacity for having my amount of clients is less than his. I always have clients, but I take on less on purpose because I know that I want to give each one of my clients excellent service, the best customer service I can, and do a great job for them. And I also obviously like my house and my home is like my number one priority too, and I want to be present there. So I know my limits and I know. But something I love doing is being able to get a client come in and then do a, what's it called? A buyer consultation over FaceTime. Yeah. Because buyer consultations have become one of my favorite things to do with relocation clients.
I love them.
When people are moving from out of state or out of the country, that's one of my favorite things to do is that consultation. I have it down. It's easy for me now because I've done it so many times and whatever. And I enjoy it and I'm good at it. So I love doing that. And then being able to, from there, be like, hey, now Spencer, here's the client and he does the rest. So there's just different things in our business that I don't know, having 2 of us, it's like.
But no, what's funny? I'm like thinking about as you're talking, about as we're speaking back and forth.
What?
Everybody asks, what do you actually do? This is what we do. I mean,
it's so hard to answer that question. It's so hard to answer that question because I feel like all realtors wear so many different hats.
Yes. From
like negotiating to there's so many different things. And then if you're a listing agent, you're a completely different ballpark. Your role is completely different. And if you're working with buyers, first-time buyers versus if you're working with out-of-state buyers that are higher price point, like your job description looks so different. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned bringing up hats.
Hats.
I'm going to tell you guys a story, a phone call that came in yesterday.
What?
This is a prospect client of mine. I do not have a contract with them. I've never been paid by them. She calls me. I have a appointment set up for her that day yesterday. And she says, Spence, you're going to hate me. I have to cancel again. We've had like 3 appointments scheduled, always canceled, usually the day of. I'm like, gosh, okay, whatever. It's not a big deal. She lives very close to us. I'm not driving a distance. And it's really just for me to get my foot in the door and consult with her about what I can do to help her. But she calls me saying she cancels, but here's another hat that I have to play. She says, I've had the wildest day. I'm like, okay, counselor mode. Let's sit and listen. So I'm sitting on the phone and I listen. I say, well, tell me about it. What happened? What's going on? Is there anything I can do for you? She spills out her whole day from 7 a.m. to where she is now. And what all stemmed from this, I mean, by the way, there's a death. There's a retirement facility. There's, you name it. Her daughter's a hoarder. Like it all goes on. And like, I can't make this stuff up. And so I'm sitting there listening, empathizing, because a big part of our job is empathizing. Like we have empathy for people, come up with the creative solution is always my term. And how can I help you? You know, get where you need to be, point A to point B. She then drops the bomb. Spencer, I think somebody has stolen my identity.
What?
And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? How do you know? Well, I got a letter in the mail and, sorry, my voice is so bad when I change to other people. Well, I got a voice in the mail.
I hope she doesn't
saying,
sound like that.
No, she doesn't sound like that at all.
That's so mean.
I got a voice in the mail from a retirement facility my husband and I both were in while he was currently alive. And their records have been not terminated, but stolen. Their files have been transferred and frauded, basically. So there's a fraud. There's a fraud going on. And the file has her social security number on it, apparently, from this letter.
Oh, no.
And I say, well, who sent this letter to you? I don't know. It's a weird name. And I'm like, okay. Have you noticed any weird bank activity going on? No, nothing's been withdrawn, anything. I'm like, okay, so you're good on fraud so far. Have you tried calling the retirement home facility and seeing if it's even accurate that the files have been stolen or what's it called, leaked?
Right.
If the files have been leaked to somebody else? No, I haven't. I'm like, then why are you so built up about this? Let's go to the source. Let's call them. So she called them. All is well. No files have been leaked to anybody. But she went through all this stress, cancellations, and then calling me, tells me a 20, 30-minute phone call story over something that was so minimal. And that's just a role that we have to play as realtors and to show empathy for somebody like that.
Right.
What I had to say is, hey, so-and-so, I really think this could be a scam, and it's sad but true. People manipulate the elderly, and they send you things in the mail. Don't reply to it, because it was asking her to fill out a credit check and all this stuff. I said, don't reply to it. Go to the source. See what's going on at the source. Was there a leak? No, there wasn't. Toss it. Don't reply to things that are fraudulent. And if that is you, though, like, and you've ever had a letter, you kind of have an idea. Like a hair stands up on your neck, or like, this is getting a little fishy. Yeah. Do some investigating. Don't do exactly what's in front of you and saying, make this payment. Make sure you're going to the right source. But that's just a story of a hat that we have to play. Right. You know, and that's a client that's never paid me.
It's right. And that's one reason, though, why it's so hard to answer that question, because wow. Yeah, there's so many different. Yeah. So many different things.
Somebody stole her identity. And she is so wrapped up in this. Oh, man. Daughter's no help, apparently.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to just calm her down and just be a good voice of reason there.
We were good.
Give her some
But no, what's cool, though?
Peace of mind about that.
Somebody actually calls you, because the phone call was first cancellation, but then it turned into, can I talk to you about something? And then that's how that all got routed. She can actually confide in us. Right. She can confide in you. She trusts you that much. Maybe she doesn't have anybody else to turn to. Right. And from my experience working with a lot of people, different clients, completely different backgrounds that so we might have versus other people. Yeah. We can always be a voice of reason, an ear to hear, and just be there for somebody.
Yeah. And that's one of the great things about our job is we get to encounter so many people who a lot of times I found on appointments, especially listing than buyers, they just want to talk and they just need someone to talk to. And you get to be that person for them that's just like there to listen. And that's a way to love them, because I don't know, like a lot of,
I love that.
They might not have someone, to just listen. And that's a way of loving someone. Like, it's just genuinely listening. And it's just one of the many great.
Well, that's why I don't leave a couch until I'm basically like kicked out of a house.
That's very true.
on a lot of my listing appointments.
That's very true.
I'll get all comfy. I'll cross my leg and I'll just lounge back with my arm up on the couch sometimes.
You let them after the make you a coffee. Over. Let them make you coffee.
Well, no, it sometimes actually gets leaded into that. Like, hey, can I get you a drink? Are you hungry? I've had a lunch served to me before. It was cool.
Oh my god.
You know? I'm definitely reading the room when I'm doing that, though. I'm not just doing that because with everybody.
Do you remember, speaking of lunch, do you remember the appointment we went on when I was pregnant with Astrid? It was like summertime. It was, where was it? It was a really pretty home, like beautiful home, huge yard. And we were sitting in their kitchen talking with the seller, this guy. I think you were newer to the business because we were on the appointment together. I don't know if it was a first sale by owner or expired listing or who it was, but we were like basically giving him our presentation. And literally in the middle of it, I fell over and I was sitting, but I fell over like on the,
oh my gosh, I remember
on the kitchen counter, and like I passed out.
Dude, yeah,
because I was pregnant, and I don't know why I passed out, but it happened because I think it was just because I was pregnant, and because that happens. But yeah,
didn't get the listing.
We didn't get the listing. I wouldn't have listed with us either.
No.
Kind of embarrassing. But also I was just so excited because I didn't go on appointments for so long because I was so sick, and I was so excited to finally. Be like our last I think it was a little premature, together. And so I was just really excited to finally go into a house again and meet with someone. And it was probably a little premature because I still was sick, but I made it happen. And then
she straight up fainted.
Oh God, yeah. I forgot it. I don't know why that story. You saying you ate lunch somewhere reminded me of that. Maybe I don't know, but yeah.
I don't think he cooked us food
embarrassing
or anything,
story.
But he definitely felt bad for you.
Yeah.
But he did show empathy because you were pregnant.
He brought me water. That's why I reminded me of that, because he gave me like something to drink or like lemonade or something. Yeah, I don't remember. He gave me something to drink. That's why it reminded me of that when you said they gave you food. Yeah. Embarrassing story. So be careful out there if you're pregnant on those appointments.
Hey, but I think that's awesome, though. That's respectable. I love it when I see a pregnancy happening and you're out at work or you're out shopping. You're not Instacarting.
Shut up.
Shopping. Women with like 3-4 kids on their hip and pregnant. I always point them out to Mariah. I'm always like,
because I like to Instacart.
We go to the store. Mariah, look at that. That's a real woman right there.
Or it's a smart business move to use Instacart, because you could be literally at home like doing your calls instead of wasting your time, like instead of like shopping while your kid's napping.
There's two sides to one rock, right?
There is two sides, two different ways of viewing things. Okay.
But yeah. I mean, this is our life, though. Real estate is a part of our life, and the relationships that you guys can create through real estate really can last a long time. Whether it's not even a sale you've ever made, but a relationship you've had growing up, and now that you are your own business owner, they're asking you to sponsor and donate for certain programs that those individuals have that have actually helped you, coached you through your life. And they have business of your own, and you might be in a position to where you can give back, you can donate, you can sponsor. That's not even a real estate sale, but that is advertisement, right?
Right.
That can get your name out there, but also people are looking at you as a professional now. Mm-hmm. So the roles have turned. You maybe grew up being coached by that professional, and now you're an adult, you have your own business. They're asking you in return. Mm-hmm. That's what's kind of been making business fun for me lately. Is I've been able to be around the people that have helped me, molded me, get me to where I need to be. And now look, I'm helping a teacher that I had buy their house, or their third, fourth house, so they've had brokers in the past, but they actually are reaching out to you and saying, hey, Spence, can you help me find a house? I love what you're doing, and I think you're the guy for me. And, let's see what you can do. We make it happen in a week, and we show results. So that's the thing. You got to turn up your game when you're working with people
Definitely. Give the best.
It's definitely. That's kind of what I've been feeling, though. Being in the business longer now, pressure. Especially. Mm-hmm. There's more pressure, but there's like this atmosphere of like this go-getter attitude of like, I'm going to get this done for you. Like, for me, you reached out to me. Let's make it happen.
For me, that's how I feel when, like, I just closed on a transaction with a lady who I've known since I was a kid, and she's an amazing like businesswoman herself in a different business, and I really respect her and love like how she does things. And for me, it was like, obviously you want to treat every client like they're your most important client, but when it's someone that like that or they're in your life and they give you the honor of getting to work with them, it's like, I want to really bless you with the best service possible. I want to do, because you know them. And so you really want to like help them in the best way. Yeah. That's how I feel. When it's someone I know, it's
tonight,
like, yes.
Yeah. That's how I'm rolling. I mean,
but even when you don't know them too, you always want to give them
it's the same
There's
service
always
100%
that.
for me in reality. But there's something in the back of my brain or mind
Right.
It's like, man, dude, the pressure's on.
Right.
I need to, but I want to.
Right. I'm always thinking of like, what are ways, there's so many different things you can do. What are ways that you can up your customer service or set yourself apart? I have this audiobook in my phone that I've listened to a couple times. It's been a while, called Hug Your Customers. And it's about this family business that it's a clothing business, but it's basically all about how they're known for their amazing customer service, like over the top, and that's how they've grown into a bunch of different stores all around the country or whatever. But it's a really interesting audiobook. But I'm always like thinking about, how can I give better service? What are things I can do? And obviously good communication and timely communication is important, and I feel like that's usually where things go sideways, is with bad communication.
100%.
But what are things you can do to just like give them a wow experience? And I don't know. I mean,
No, that wow
like,
experience factor.
Like I always buy, like I said, I bought my client, like I had flowers delivered to her door, but like what else? Like closing gifts are kind of standard. Like everyone does that. But what are other things? If you're listening and you're a realtor in another state or in our state, I'd love to hear, what are some things you do that set yourself apart, or just like good customer service things that really give your clients like a wow, transaction. Because I want to do that, but sometimes I'm like, what else is there to do? Like, what else can I do? Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know.
Obviously, smooth transactions are everything.
Yeah.
No hiccups. Making sure you're coordinating with the lender, escrow agent, inspections, appraiser. I've seen so much go south or wrong when, say, a buyer.
Sorry.
Just gurgling.
You always say something when I'm like drinking my drink. Usually it's the metal straw and it's like clinking on the glass anyway.
But like usually there's always like a wild question thrown out in a transaction from like a buyer of mine, usually in regards to like prorations, money, will I get this back, this cost? And where I have felt most people get the most disappointments is when they're investing something and they don't actually get back what they expected to get back. And usually that's the escrow process, the title agent, and lender communicating. And it's up to me to, of course, write the verbiage in an addendum or even the sale agreement that these expectations are to be met. But there are escrow agents that simply forget about these little factors that my client has paid out of pocket for. And then at closing, he's expecting them to be prorated. So basically, the escrow cuts a check, says, here's your money back. Thanks for prepaying, but here's your money back, because it's prorated, right? Mm-hmm. The worst expectations haven't been met because money wasn't ever received. Whose blame is that? Not ours. It's the agent. But in a way, it is yours, because we didn't communicate or coordinate that or express that was a very high priority for my client. Mm-hmm. And that is kind of what I'm dealing with right now, keeping everything aligned with the client that has all the questions. He's getting so many things thrown in his ears. It's his first time home buy. He doesn't know, but there's people around him that knows. So he's just regurgitating to me. So my priority is making sure all of his expectations are met.
Right.
And if I don't know the right answer, I'm finding it. And then I'm telling him it an hour later, the right answer. And usually I'm just calling my team and saying, hey, what's the right answer for this? Right. And it's a very simple phone call or a text or an email. But just keep that in mind, the experience factor. You brought up an experience in a real estate transaction. What I've found most that people take away is the negative sides more than the positives. Mm-hmm. And even if you have like 2 or 3 negatives that are just minor little hiccups that aren't even your fault, that's all they remember. Yeah. And we need to delete that, and that's what I mean. Do it once wrong, okay. You learn from your mistake. Do it twice? No. You need to figure out the first time, change your business model, change the way you communicated, change your filing system, whatever it may be, and make yourself the better agent that gives the full experience for your clients, buyer or seller.
Right. That's so true. Isn't it crazy how people are so like review happy, where if one thing goes wrong, or like at a restaurant or a hotel or whatever service it is, like a nail salon, they're so quick. They're so much quicker to write a bad review about, maybe not for realtors, but like for all these businesses, like they're so much quicker to write a bad review than a good review. And it's like, that's one experience. Like, you don't know, that could have just been one off experience you had at that nail salon or wherever it was. You don't know like, I don't know. And you don't know how much that's affecting their business. I just hate that.
You got to realize this is like people's
I
lives.
never write bad reviews. I literally will go and like write good reviews sometimes, just
even
for
if you
fun
had a bad experience
on Yelp or whatever. I'll just go on the app and like write good reviews for businesses because I don't know. I think it's so sad.
I think it's the right thing to do because
Yeah.
people are people.
Yeah.
In the end, I mean,
Yeah.
who knows what's going on in their life? Someone
Yeah.
could have just passed away,
Or
financial
maybe,
struggles,
like, you
had
had
a crazy client.
You had bad service at the restaurant, but maybe they're like really low on staff that day and like they just had a bad, like it's
Supply shortages.
yeah, like I don't know.
You're yelling at a waitress
Yeah.
that has no control of that.
Yeah.
Think about it.
People.
There's
people,
a
man.
line.
Yeah.
But,
Do you have anything
business,
else to
baby.
say? I feel like
Business.
mine.
I love it though, man. I love it. I love appointments.
Mm.
The I guess it's not a blood pressure thing, but there's got to be like an endorphin
Blood pressure?
that kicks
Adrenaline.
in. Adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
I love the
Yes.
adrenaline that kicks in when you've been following up with somebody for so many months, 2-3 months, pretty normal, and then they finally book with you.
That's true.
And you finally got the foot in the door.
It's true.
And then it's unbelievable when you get the result that you've been looking for and not necessarily having as commission breath.
Right.
You know, have you ever had commission breath? If you've ever had it, it doesn't feel good. And it feels like you're pulling teeth just to get your foot in the door, or you're selling yourself short even though you're worth more. That is the hardest thing for me. When I sold myself short in the beginning and I knew I was worth more.
Right. Or when you go on like you interview for a listing and you weren't sure if you got it or not, and then you get the text like a week later saying they're going to list with you. It's like,
oh yeah,
very adrenaline-y.
Yeah.
Adrenaline rushy.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best feelings ever. And in a market like this, I think it's tougher now more than ever to win a listing, honestly, because there in our market especially, there's so few. You know, I'm driving 40 minutes away just to get another listing, but this is for a family friend.
Right. It's someone
but
you
I'm
know,
interviewing
so you're
for it.
doing.
I'm competing, baby.
Right.
And I love it. We have
So
a
what are
podcast.
you going to do? What are you going to do differently that to separate yourself from, because I know they're interviewing like 3 other agents.
Yeah.
I know you know a couple of them. Like, what are you going to do differently to separate yourself from the competition?
Well, for one, I got to understand the demographic. I got to understand my client. What do I dress? What's appropriate?
Right.
What's my verbiage? You know, that type of thing. What's important to them? It's kind of a mind game. I got to feel it out.
Right.
What I don't want to do is puff and huff and say I'm Hulk and I'm the best.
Right.
And
Because you know, for this particular, especially like demographic, you know that would really turn them off, and you don't want to make it about like why I'm the best, why you should hire me, or even like dressing too fancy.
Humble people
for this situation would not be right. Like wearing a full-on suit would probably be the wrong thing for this particular listing appointment.
Yeah.
Which you got to know like who you're meeting with and where you're going.
So what I have to realize is that first initial eye contact I make coming out of my car, usually coming to the front door, they have an idea of my times estimate. So they're going to be waiting for me. That's generally what happens. Every step I take from getting out of my car to the front door is at value in my mind, because that's the first impression.
You're going to stare them down?
No.
What do you mean eye contact?
No. Because they're watching me. But watch, as soon as I make eye contact with them, usually when they answer the door, sometimes they're waiting in the yard. What does your expression say? What does your, I guess, mood project? What are they feeling off of your atmosphere, your energy? Because that can make or break an appointment. There's some people where it's just flat the whole time, and you can open up. You can't get them to open up. You can't really talk anything else but, hey, my gutters are replaced, or I replaced this roof, and you're in and out in 20 minutes.
I just had an appointment like that. It was so fast. It was a listing, and it was so fast, and I was like, man, I was really trying to make it like a longer appointment, but this client just wouldn't ask any questions, tried to get her to. I went through the process, but she just talked so fast, and it was very like, didn't want to give me a lot of information, was very like, yes.
Get out and go.
Those appointment, it just didn't feel good because of that. But anyway, keep going. What were you saying?
So that first initial contact for me is kind of everything. Obviously, everybody should know this, but come to your appointments prepared. Have a pen. I always have a notepad and a clipboard.
Why are you talking?
I had something in my throat. Sorry. I always have a pen, notepad, and clipboard because who carries around a clipboard anymore?
That guy right there.
This guy.
That guy.
This guy. Everybody's on their phone, right?
Yeah.
Guess what the phone's doing? my eyes are looking at it and not the client.
Right.
So usually I'm just writing on my clipboard. Usually as they're speaking to me, I'm having eye contact. I'm having kind of scribbly handwriting on my clipboard. It is what it is. I can usually read the details that they're stating. And usually important details that I can't memorize are going on the clipboard. Anybody knows 3-bed, 2-bath, square footage roughly. But we're talking like the basic improvements or harder home improvements that they've done over the years with X amount costs that they've done. Every listing's different based off the property and subject property, but you want to get those little details so you're not asking for them later on. So when they do call you and say, Spence, I want to list your home, it's ready to go, baby. You have it all locked and loaded. You have that listing agreement written out. You don't have to ask them those questions that they've already expressed to you in the initial appointment. You're ready to go. So the clipboard is something that extinguishes me differently, and I look different, and I'm kind of more old school with it. But then what else I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be video touring their home.
That's what I was going to ask you about. So tell us about that.
That's going to be new.
So what are you going to say? Because this is something that, what's the point? Why are you videoing it? Who are you videoing it for? Tell us about that.
Well, for one,
what are you going to tell them about it?
I kind of have an upper hand. I know you and I are one of the only agents in our surrounding area, maybe not your guys' area, but our surrounding area that do beautiful, awesome footage when it comes to home tours online for all of our out-of-state clients.
Right.
And it could be just somebody local, too, that wants to see it over social media. You name it.
Well, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, what?
No. Keep going. Keep going.
So that want to see it over social media. So that's really holds value because whether I have the listing or not, they see, and it shows, because I'm demonstrating it through action, not just words. Most people are just words. I'm going to act upon my word, and I'm going to act and sell their home even without the listing. That's how I'm projecting my appearance, but also that's how I run my business.
Because, so he's going to be able to tell them, and it's truthful. We work with a lot of relocation clients. A lot of our clients come from YouTube, and this has happened before many times. Like our clients will buy one of our listings, one of our very own listings. And so this time he is going to actually do a home tour of this particular property before he even wins the listing, before he even gets it on the market, assuming that he is the one that they end up listing with, before it's even on the market, he is going to put it up on YouTube, and maybe we'll get a client from another state wanting to buy it. But regardless, we have that like platform because we do have a lot of eyeballs on those videos of people who are moving from out of state. So that's kind of the
initial goal.
And he'll tell them that, and that's something
and
that
I have to
around
have,
here
and,
no one's
and
doing.
And I am getting permission. Okay, I'm not just
Oh yeah, you're not
going to
just like post it. You got to tell them.
I'm telling
because the whole point.
But that's part of your presentation too.
Yeah.
Is expressing, man, dude, I'm a workhorse, or I'm doing things differently here. I know we can get your home sold. It just depending on price you're wanting, whatever your presentation wants to say, because the hard spot is knowing the market, and that's going to be a hard conversation I'm going to have with them, because that particular area, there's lesser sales, but also days on market are rather high. But there are competition. There is competition around it right now, and so from what I'm seeing online, it's giving me a higher value than I really think it's worth. They might not like my value. That's where my downfall is going to be.
You need to.
But how do you express that lower value?
You need to. Well, first of all, have really, really thorough comps and tell them, like, hey, warn them, like these other guys or girls, whoever's coming in to give a listing presentation, they might try to win the listing by giving you the most appealing price and by flattering you at that high price. But just know that because the agent, like a lot of sellers will say, especially when you're competing for a for sale by owner listing, like I've been told in the past, we chose this other agent over you because they gave us a higher price. But make sure they know, obviously, sounds obviously, but it's not so obvious to a lot of sellers, that who you list with, like because another agent gives you a higher price doesn't mean it's going to sell at a higher price. This I'm giving you, it would be in your best interest for me to give you the most honest information, even if it's not necessarily what you want to hear. But at the end of the day, you choose the price. I'm telling you the facts, and you choose the price. So don't lose the listing over that, in my opinion, because it's going to still sell.
And that's how you end it.
Yes.
I work for you. You don't work for me. You choose the price.
Yes.
Here's the deal I'm going to make with you, verbally, seller. We're going to go with your price. Might be 5, 10, 15,000 more than mine. After 2 weeks, if this thing's sitting and we're not getting the activity needed to sell, we will be doing a price reduction.
Yes.
5,000 minimum.
Yeah.
To your best interest, whatever you think it should be. Based off the activity. So I leave it in their hands, but they're giving me approval for a price reduction if it doesn't work out. Dude, I've been slapped in the face before though, because not literally, but I've had that. I've had sellers list their price 10, 20,000 over what I've come in at. This market's been so unreliable when it comes to price comps because buyers are just paying so much over ask at times.
Right. It's
not
hard
really
to
right
know.
now.
Yeah.
I've had that thing sold in 2 days at the seller's price because they truly believed it was worth that. And I said, yeah, this market shows the unpredictabilities of it, but we're not out of the woods yet. It's got to appraise.
Yes. Well,
But that's how I'm prepping for tonight's listing appointment. I
think you're gonna get the listing.
I think we're gonna get
We'll
it.
tell you guys next week. We'll let you know how it goes.
But I have fun. I try to not be as serious as possible. I try to just have a conversation because I'm a real guy. You guys are real people out there as well. But this is my profession. This is what I do every day. This is how I put food on the table. Mm-hmm. And I am a top producer, and we make sales through our brokerage, and that's why we love our brokerage, because we're able to go from one transaction to the next and provide service and great service and great service and more service for all of our clients.
Yes. Yeah. Whoa.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I think today's rambling, but also really good show. This might be one of the best shows out there. If you enjoyed it, let us know because we can structure that. I mean, I'm happy just rolling in and talking real estate. That's what we do.
We'll continue to answer your questions. Like I said, we still have many questions from you guys left to answer that we just kind of left on the table today, and we'll come back to them later. But if you want more shows like this one where we just kind of sit and have an unplanned conversation about real estate, then hit the thumbs up button so we know.
Awesome. And I've been there. I mean, while you're doing work in the office or cleaning the kitchen or something, having a podcast on in the background, that's what I like. And that's why I think it was really important for us to have good sound. Yeah. And its mic quality is pretty unbelievable from my end. But if you feel like it needs to be better, let us know that too. Like I said, this is a new setup.
Someone said get rid of the mirror behind us.
That thing, it's like planted there.
Spencer, I have we could put our other mirror or something else.
Why would you replace a mirror with another mirror?
Because it's not as mirrory. It doesn't have the big hole. Anyway,
I would rather just do an art piece and be done with it.
Yeah. Well, whatever. We like to hear your feedback, what you agree with or disagree with, and what's working for you and all of that good stuff. Questions all in the comments below. If you have a client relocating to Oregon and you're a realtor in another state, send them our way. We would love to give you a referral fee. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because we do come on here every week with new videos talking about real estate. So, well,
adios. See you guys next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye.